Yeah, I can go live, but that's okay. Not many people are there, right, in level 2, so that's all right. Okay. So where did we earn? We said that the steadily devoted soul offers the results to me, 5.12. And others are greedy for the fruits of the labor, they result in entanglement. That was what the ending was. Like, whoever is in constant touch, he will attain shanti, complete shanti, peace. And who is not will remain entangled. So after discussing all that, all those questions that came into the mind that were there in the picture, we have discussed all that, right? So we had talked about attached actions, detached actions, but the question that comes to our mind is who is doing it? Who is the doer? So Lord is going to discuss in next section, that is section 3. So here is the section 3. So section 3 is about the soul, the material nature, and the super soul, right? Okay. So this is something that we all, are very curious to know, very curious to understand. At least I was very curious to know. Like every time we say, I'm the doer, like actually, who is the doer? So till now, so much talk was going on about action. Now, time has come to enter this new section. What is it? Who is performing all the actions? Basically, who is the doer of all the actions? So that is what we are going to understand from 13 to 16. So here it's, let's go to that. The living being, the doer number 1. Let's see who is the doer. I'll keep switching on and off the video because my Wi-Fi is very poor over here. I'm just struggling to be audible. So the living being, doer number 1, he knows all that bodily activities are automatically carried out. Then there is doer number 2. There are 3 doers overall. First doer, let's make it very simple. First doer is the living entity, living being. Second doer, modes of material nature. Third doer, the super soul, the Paramatma inside our heart. That's it. Let's keep it very simple. Number 1, doer number 1, Jiva. Doer number 2, Prakriti. Doer number 3, Paramatma. In English, doer number 1, the living being.
Living entity.
Doer number 2, the material nature. And number 3, super soul. So we are going to understand the platform of knowledge after understanding all the 3 doers. That is what basically we have to understand. So let's go and see about this, how it goes and how it takes place and all that. So let's go to the next slide and see. So doer number 1, that is Jiva, is situated in the city of 9 gates. So we will discuss about the 9 gates also of our body. Then not working or causing work to be done. The Jiva does not create any activity. The Jiva does not induce others to act. The Jiva does not create even the fruits of the action. Just imagine. So happiness, distress, it comes only when the Jiva is identifying with the body. So when one renounces the results, the Jiva can live happily. That's what is doer number 1. We will understand in detail later. This is just a summary. Doer number 2, it's the mode of material nature. It is the mode of material nature, the Prakriti, that is doing everything. But she is subordinate to Lord Krishna. So she is doing under the direction of the Lord. Lord is the director and the Prakriti is doing everything under the direction. And doer number 3 is super soul. Is the one who is sanctioning, like the CEO. CEO is, okay, you can start this factory or you can go and employ this so and so. You can do it. But he is not coming to the factory every day. The super soul is sanctioning, but he is aloof. So Lord is not taking the responsibility for anyone's pious or impious activities. When the soul desires, I want this, Lord looks at it, says, okay, I'm not interfering. You want it? Okay. So Lord sanctions these desires as living entity deserves according to the karma. So, but then who is carrying it out? The modes of material nature carries it out. This is the knowledge in the mode of goodness. So let's understand verse number 13 and understand the 3 doers. Doer number 1, that is Jiva. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi Navadware pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. Yes, please. Anybody wants to read? You can. You can please read. Yes, Swapnil Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of nine gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. Hare Krishna.
Swapnil Prabhuji, I think your microphone has an issue, or maybe my audio is not that great because I don't understand whether I am having a good audio or not right now. So I could not hear. I don't know whether others could hear or not. Can anybody confirm that?
I can, but
Sorry,
if
there is an
your
issue with
sound is
your
good.
mic.
Ma'am, I'll read it if you want.
Yes.
Should I read it?
Yes, please.
When the embodied living beings control his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of the nine gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So till now, they were talking about the action. So now what he is saying, Sarva karmani manasa, sanyasyaste sukham vashi. So when this body, this living being, this embodied living being controls his nature, Sarva karmani manasa, he controls his nature. And what does it do? Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste. Sanyasaste means mentally he renounced. Manasa and sanyasyaste. So from that mana, that mind, he is sanyasyaste means he is renouncing mentally. What is he renouncing? He has to renounce something, right? Karmani. That is the karmas, the action. When he mentally renounces all actions, sarva karmani, which is all the actions, then it is, what is it given? Navadware pure dehi neva kurvan nakarayan. Such a person, he resides where? Where does he reside? In the city of nine gates. So what is he doing there in that nine gates? I will come to nine gates also. Sukham. What is he doing here? Sukham means happy. Neva kurvan. He is neither working, nakarayan, nor causing work to be done. So he's there, just there, being there, not doing anything. That's what is this verse trying to explain to us. Navadware pure dehi neva kurvan na karyan. He is there, he is over there, he is happy, he is neither working na karyan, not causing work to be done. That's what is explained. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport. He says, the embodied being is living in the city of nine gates, and because he has forgotten his superior nature, then what happens when he forgets his superior nature? He starts to identify himself with the material body. Oh, I am the body, and then suffering starts. Their suffering starts. It's very difficult to kind of contemplate or even understand how can it not be my body? That comes to our mind, but it is what it is. So Lord Krishna is comparing the body with the opening of nine gates, city of nine gates. So the soul is inside this city. City is like, you can say, body is city. So city of nine gates, which I will tell you what those nine gates are, the openings of the nine gates. City is like the king of that city. The soul is the king of the city, right? It is carrying out, and there are many ministries. Ministries are like, you can say, ego, then senses, mind, intellect, different, right? So we have all that till we reach death. All this is there. And once that death happens, once the body is gone, when the time takes away this body, that's when everything resigns, everything finishes. So even while it is raining, even while it is ruling, the enlightened yogis, the self-elevated yogis, as we can say, they do not see themselves as the body. That's the beauty of the whole thing. That these elevated souls, they know they are not the body, and they do not consider themselves that they are the lord of the body. That's not what they consider. They say, okay, this is the body. Activities are being performed by it. It is fine, but this is, the whole thing belongs to God. So whatever actions they are want to do, they with the mind they renounce. Sanyasyaste manasa. Manasa, from mind they renounce everything. And these souls, these elevated souls, that is why they are very happily situated in the city of nine gates, or you can call this body. Why are they so happy inside? Because they know, I have renounced all my actions mentally, offered it to God. So that is, that is called Sakshi Bhav. Sakshi Bhav means, Sakshi means what? Observer. Bhav is the emotion. Like they are observing the body. They are just trying to detach themselves and observe the whole. Okay, so you are doing this. Okay, fine, like that. And they're observing everything what is happening around. Many great souls, great elevated saints, they can do that, right? So the analogy is given in many other Upanishad also. Like there is another Upanishad where it is written, Navadware pure dehi hanso lilayate bahi vashi sarvasya lokasya thavarasya charasya cha. It's given in Shwetva, I don't remember which Upanishad, but it is given that body has 9 gates. What are those 9 gates? Let's see now. 1, 2 ears. Then we have 1, 2 eyes. 4. Then 2 nostrils. 1, 2, 6. 1 mouth. 7. Then anus. 8. And the genitals. 9. So total 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and backside 9. Total 9 gates. So these are the 9 gates. And this soul is residing in the body of 9 gates. In this material consciousness, soul, what does it do? It starts recognizing itself, that and identifying itself that, okay, I am the city of 9 gates. And inside that body, who else is there along with the soul? It's the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Lord. He is also there. And what is his role? Controller. He is the controller of all living beings in the world. We know only our body. Supreme Soul knows all the bodies. So when the soul establishes its connection with the Lord, if I turn towards the Lord, it's like 2 birds sitting next to each other. We are not trying to look at the other bird, which is the Supreme Soul. But if we can, the moment we look at the Lord, we surrender to him, it's like, okay, I'm as free as a bird. Even while I'm residing in this body and doing all my daily actions, still I will be free. I'll be happy with him. Right? Atmaram, right? So in this verse, Lord Krishna is declaring that this embodied soul, it's neither the doer. It's not the doer. Lord Krishna is telling over here, Navadware pure dehi neva kurvanna karyan. It is not doing anything. Very clearly he has written over here. And it is not even the cause of anything. Then the question comes in our mind, if God is actually doing everything, all the actions in the world, then, I mean, how? How can that be possible? Is it the God who is doing all the actions in the world? Then that question will be answered by Lord Krishna in the next verse. But let's see the city of 9 gates now. See, these are the 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 1 vagina or penis, or 1 anus. So total, if you count all, then it is 9. And what is the purpose of this whole city or the body? As you can see, it is given to us. Some say it is a facility to enjoy. Okay, you have to enjoy. Enjoy what? We are under that illusion. Why do we keep changing? What is the point? Look at the life of modern people. We are constantly running after happiness. Even after understanding that this body is temporary. What are we doing? We are working, we are going home, we are playing, we are sleeping. That's it. We are not even thinking till it's time to go to our graveyard. That's it. So what do we get in the whole process? Sorrow and temporary happiness. And how do we get this body? It is because of our wants, our desires, our wishes, and of course, our past karmas and what we deserve according to the report card that God has made. According to the report card, we get that kind of a body, right? So let's see the Jivatma. What is the role of Jivatma? Jivatma is placed in the body. Okay. So cause of soul suffering, soul is placed in the body. Solution to soul suffering is by process of Krishna consciousness only. So what happens to the cause of soul suffering? Because they have forgotten that I am part and parcel of the Lord, Mamevamsho Jiva Loke, it starts identifying with the material nature, with the body, everything, right? And this soul, where is it living? It is living in the body, city of 9 gates. What are the 9 gates? 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, anus, and genitals. The soul has a chance. What is that? Here we can see that although subjecting oneself to the condition of the body, one can be beyond those conditions if we want to. So what is that solution? Krishna consciousness. How? We can revive our own original position. We can understand that we can be like a witness, like great saints do. They stand over there like this and they say, okay, so this body is doing okay, fine. They don't identify themselves with the body, right? And in such controlled life, one's deliberation are changed and he starts living happily even in this city of 9 gates. That is what is explained over here. Let's move on to the next shloka. Verse number 14. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. Yes, Pravina Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of actions. All this is enacted by the mode of material nature. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So first we had learned about the jiva, the living entity. So now let's try to understand what results does he achieve by having this particular, consciousness. And let's try to understand and see the doer number 2, which is material nature, prakriti. First doer, we understand it's jivatma, right? So let's see the second doer. Second doer, what does Lord Krishna say is, we are seeing different types of doer. So second doer is the material nature. It's called, what is it called? Prakriti. Now here Lord said, Prabhuhu. Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srajati Prabhuhu. So master, Prabhu means master, right? First time, you can see, first time a very nice word is used for all the living entities. Generally it is not used, right? So master of what? Prabhu. He is Prabhu of what? Prabhu of city of 9 gates. Now can anybody tell me the city of 9 gates? What are those 9 gates?
Two eyes, two nostrils, 2 ears. That's 6, and then the vagina,
anus. Yes.
Anus.
Very
And,
nice, Mataji. Very good. Very nice. Yes. So we are Prabhu of this city. We are master of this body. So master of this 9 gates. That is body. So basically, Prabhu is another word for this embodied being over here in this shloka. So what is given to Prabhu? Na kartritvam. Na kartritvam means, karna means to do. So he is not doing any action. He is not creating any action. Na karmani lokasya srajati Prabhu. Prabhu is the master. So lokasya srajati means he is not creating any act in this world. Loka means here. Here he is not doing any act. He is not inducing people to act also. Na karma phala sanyogam. He is not creating any phala. Phala means the result. He is not creating any fruit of action also. Neither is he creating any action, nor is he inducing anybody else to do the action, nor is he trying to create any fruit of the action. Na karma phala sanyogam. He is not even trying to create any fruit of the action. See, 3 things. Number 1, he is not creating any action. Number 2, he doesn't create any action or induce any people to act. Number 3, he is not creating any fruits of the action also. Now imagine, then who is doing all this? Swabhavastu pravartate. So this is acted by 3 modes of material nature. Here Krishna has used, how many times he has used na? Na kartrutvam, na karmani, na karma phala sanyogam. 3 times he has used. Very, very clear. Lord is very, very clear. He says living entity doesn't do action. He does not induce others to do action, nor does he create any fruit of the action. Very clear. See, na kartrutvam, na karmani, na karmapalam. He's not doing this. Prabhu of 9 gates, he's not doing anything. That's very clearly he's saying. So who is doing? Modes of material nature. But what is happening? We are ignorant. Because we are ignorant, we think that we are only doing everything. We are identifying ourselves with the body. Am I audible? Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Mataji.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yes,
In
Mataji.
between my Wi-Fi may go, it's not very stable here. And identifies with the body, and it becomes very implicated because as the doer of action, we start identifying it. Like in chapter 3, it is there, right? Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma karta hamiti manyate. Ahankara vimudhatma. Because of our ahankara, false ego, we start thinking that we are the doers. But actually, it is who? Prakriti kriyamanani. Even chapter 3 also it was said. Prakriti kriyamanani. It is Prakriti, modes of material nature, that is doing, carrying all the work. But we think ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. Because we are ahankara, having false ego, we start thinking we are the doers. Actually, God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is omnipotent. He is omniscience. He is the one who is controlling everything. He is conducting all the activities in the universe, but he is aloof. He is the non-doer. He is neither, he is not trying to make us do something or anything. He is not going to give us anything. He is just aloof. That's it. Whatever happens, whatever karmas we do, accordingly we get the result. That's it. Had he been the director, for example, if he was the director, for example, then what would have happened? Imagine. No need for any kind of elaborate instructions by Krishna on what is good action, what is bad action. No need, right? If he is the director, all the scriptures will end with 3 short sentences. What are those sentences? Souls, come on. I am the director, okay? I am going to tell you what work you have to do. So you have to do this kind of action, that kind of action. No, you cannot do that action. This is the way I want you to do. So you need not understand what good or bad action is. Whatever director is telling, in the movie, the actors do like that only. If he were the director, then we would be doing according to what he wanted. Then we would not even know what is good or bad. Whatever he is telling, we will do. So Lord will say, okay, I want you to do it like this. I will make you do as I wish, because it's director's wish. Right? Had he been the director, but he is not. Similarly, God is not responsible. He is not responsible for we getting stuck in this material world. We getting stuck in this sense of doership. If he had deliberately tried to create pride of doing in us, then again, we would have blamed him, right? You only put it in us. That is why we are doing all this. Because of you, we are doing, you directed us to do like this. If we deliberately created the pride of doing in us. But no, that's not. Fact is that the soul brings this pride onto itself because of the mode of ignorance. Out of ignorance, out of false ego, it brings upon itself. Soul chooses to do. If we want, in case we want, we can choose to do away with the ignorance. We can. Then what will happen if we choose to get away from this ignorance? Grace of God will flow. And as the grace of God will flow, completely he will direct. This is how you have to do. But we are into ignorance. So that is why Lord Krishna is saying renunciation of the sense of doership is very, very important. It's the responsibility of the soul. It is our responsibility. We cannot throw the responsibility on anybody else. The moment we say, no, I am not the doership. So body is constituted of 3 modes of material nature, right? All our actions are performed by the modes of material nature. But out of ignorance, the soul starts thinking, I am the city of 9 gates. I am the body. And then slowly it says, I am the doer of all actions. But actually it is like we learned in chapter 3, Prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma karta hamiti manyate. Actually it is, the fact is that it is not the material, it is the material nature which is doing. We are not the doers, and Supreme Lord is definitely not the one, right? If he were the director, then he would have easily asked us to do whatever he wanted. Now we are going into doer number 3. So if I am not doing, then why am I punished? That's the question we can get, right? See, I am not the doer. You say Prakriti is the doer, then why I am getting punished? Krishna knows that we'll get such kind of questions. That's why he's telling us in verse number 15. Nadatte kasyachit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhu ajnanenavritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. Yes, please. Neha Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers the real knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So basically, we are discussing 3 doers, right? So first doer was, who's the first doer?
The Jiva, you said?
Yeah. Second doer,
The modes of
Prakriti, the material nature. Very nice. Now comes the third doer. Who is the third doer here? Super soul. So we may have a question. Okay, I understand that I am not always doing the actions. 3 modes of material nature, you say, is doing the actions. Okay, everything is fine. You say material nature is doing the activities. Then who is controlling the 3 modes of material nature? That's the question. It is Supreme Personality of Godhead who is controlling the 3 modes of material nature. That also that gets cleared over here. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, he is controlling the 3 modes. And 3 modes are controlling me or us. And if the action are happening because of that, then basically the actions are happening because of Krishna, indirectly. And if that is so, then whenever there is sinful reactions are happening, then why am I getting all the results of sinful reactions? Why am I suffering? See, again, I will repeat. 3 modes of material nature. We know that we are, Krishna says, I am not doing the action. 3 modes of material nature is doing. So we are not the doers. Krishna is controlling 3 modes of material nature. So indirectly, Krishna is doing everything. Then why am I being punished? Why am I getting the results of sinful reactions? Why am I suffering? That should go to Krishna, we should say. He has done it indirectly. So what Lord is saying over here? See, so many negative things are happening, right? That will be answered by Lord. Third doer is spoken about, Vibhu. Vibhu, who is Supreme Personality of Godhead, unlimited one. So what Lord is saying, Nadatte kasyachit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhu. Vibhu is Lord. So Lord does not take anybody's pap. Nadatte kasyachit papam. I will not take anybody's papa or sinful. Or I will not take nachaiva sukritam. Even the good things also, pious deeds also, I don't take. I neither take the papam, nor do I take the punyam. Punyam is what?
good.
The pious deeds. I will neither take this nor I will take that. Lord is saying very, very clearly. He is saying about that one. Now, next question is Ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. Ajnanena avritam jnanam. Jnanam means what? Knowledge. So when ajnana, when knowledge is covered by ajnana or ignorance, then what will happen? Tena muhyanti jantavaha. Living entity gets very bewildered that who is doing, what is happening. Actually, he is the one who is actually desiring it. That he is not understanding. We desire so many things. That desire is that should be highlighted. Actually, we don't highlight, but desire is the one that's the culprit. And that is the essence of this particular shloka. Who is the culprit? We are the culprits. But we will definitely never take this responsibility, no? So we are always blaming the God. God is not responsible. He is not. God is not responsible for our good deeds or for our bad deeds, virtuous deeds, sinful deeds, anything. God is not responsible anyway, anyhow. So what does God do? He gives the soul. He gives the soul the power to act. The soul acts. And then once we have done some action or whatever power he has given, whatever power was supplied to us, what does he do? He sits and notes down. Okay, he desired this thing. Okay, I'm writing down. And then he will sanction it. Desire is not done by Lord. Desire is done by us. That's the culprit. And then he will give the results of our karma. We individual souls, we have the freedom. We have the freedom to do good or bad action because we have been given that free will by the Lord. Lord's work, now cricket World Cup is going on. So I will say God's work is like that of an umpire in a cricket match. He keeps the results. Okay, 4 runs. Oh, next. Okay, 6 runs. Next. Okay, he's out. I don't know which finger he puts up. Yeah, this one. I used to play cricket when I was young. So I was never the umpire though. So he would put his hand up. Okay, out. He's out. So the umpire cannot be blamed, right? He cannot be blamed for the decision that, okay, he's out. Because it was based upon the way the player had played the ball. He has performed that way. So this umpire is perfect in his work. Here, Supreme Personality of Godhead is perfect in his work. Even the material world umpire may do wrong. That is why it is going to third umpire. But here, this umpire, our Supreme Personality of Godhead, is perfect in his work. So, sometimes we get this kind of doubt. Why God granted this free will to us? Why did he give? Because we are his part and parcel only. We are qualitatively, we are him. We are sparks of him only. Quantitatively, definitely not. But that is why we possess same qualities as God has, but in a very minuscule extent, you can say. Because God is what? Abhignya Swarat. Abhignya Swarat means is supremely independent. And the soul also possesses that tiny amount of independence. Tiny, like a spark. So we have got that independence to use our senses. We have got the independence to use our mind, the intellect, the way we want to use it. So if we do not have free will, okay, let's say we don't have free will, what will happen? We will be not having any kind of emotion, no love. It's like a machine, like a robot, right? No love. Robot is working left. To do this, it will be walking like this, but no love over there. It's like a machine. So machine cannot love, right? Because it does not have independence to choose. We have to press the buttons, then only it will work. So that's the thing. We are part and parcel of Lord. Only a personality that has the ability to, choose, possesses the option to love. If we have only a personality who has this ability. So God has created us. Why did he create us? So that we love him. Actually, we are supposed to be completely in love with him. We are supposed to be completely in awe of him. But, we are always like culprits. That is why he has endowed us with free will. And we have the right to exercise our own free will. And that accordingly, the results come out. If we have studied very well, we get 90 upon 100. If we have studied very poorly, we may fail also. So good and bad results depends on how we are writing the exam. We cannot blame the teacher. We cannot blame the God for our results, right? In ignorance, sometimes, some souls don't even realize that they possess the freedom to choose their action. And ultimately, भगवान मेरे साथ आपने ऐसा क्यों किया? ये भगवान इतने निर्दयी क्यों है? Why is God so unkind to us? Why is he always doing like this? And hold God responsible for our mistakes, right? And some other people, they have this free will, but what do they do? It is because of me. I have built this whole empire, this whole money, this whole industry, this whole factory. It is because of me. I am the one, and they get that egoistic notion of being the body, right? Again, that is also ignorance. This is also ignorance. That is also ignorance. So Lord Krishna explains how, such ignorance we can actually remove. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay. Thank you. I'll keep asking in between because sometimes I think it just moves on. Verse 16, Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitam atmanah Tesham adityavad jnanam prakashayati yat tatparam. Yes, please, who will read now? Pratima Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Then, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed. Then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime.
Hare Krishna. We have finished all the three doers, right? First doer is living entity, the jiva. Second doer is the material nature, the prakriti. Third doer is the super soul, the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So we said a living entity desires. That's the point. That's the highlight. And Paramatma, the super soul, he sanctions our desire based on, of course, he will see many, many factors. He just doesn't, grant everything. Past karmas, and then material nature or prakriti by the order. Of course, it has to get the order from Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then she fulfills or materializes whatever the desire is, right? So the culprit is living entity or the jiva. Why? Because it is desiring. And Lord, because he's so nice and loving and merciful partner, he's our partner, right? Inside our heart. He's sanctioning it. And then he tells material, chalo, material nature, chalo, fulfill his desire. It's okay. He wants this very badly. Chalo, give it to him. It's okay. So this way, what happens? There is this triangle, This triangle is very important. Always remember this triangle. The triangle is living entity, material nature, super soul. So LMS, living entity, material nature, and supreme soul. So LMS, every time LMS, if you remember, you will be able to remember this, that it is Jivatma, Paramatma, and Prakriti. So if we can get this kind of knowledge, then what will happen? Once we understand all this, what will happen? What is the fruit? What is the fruit once we get this knowledge? So Lord says over here, Esham Atmanaha. Eshat Atmanaha means when one is enlightened. Atma means we, right? And when Esham Atmana means we are enlightened. When we get this knowledge, by what? By what? Jnana, by knowledge. When we are enlightened by this knowledge that, okay, we are actually not the doers, and this is what is happening. And then when we get this knowledge, what happens then? Tu tadajnana. Tu tadajnana nashitaha. Tu tadajnana nashitaha means it will nash means it will destroy, it will finish, it will the ajnana, the ignorance will be gone. So far, we have understood about that, right? That ajnana will be lost. The sun's, how what example can I think of when I'm thinking of this? Is I can only think of sun, because when sun comes out, when sun rises, the whole darkness is gone. At night we see moon, we see stars all spread up in the sky, and it looks so beautiful and it is all lighted up. But the moment the sun rises, what happens? It's all gone, right? So sun's power of removing the darkness of night, that you can't compare to anything. Even in the Ramayana, it was stated over there. So even the combined light of the moon, the stars, all, even in a cloudless sky also, night does not go, right? But the moment the sun rises, even the moon, the stars, what job they could not do, sun does it like this. In one, what do you call this? I call this chutki. So in one chutki, it just sun rises, the night just makes a hasty exit. So the light of the sun is such that darkness cannot remain over there, right? Similarly, in this shloka, Lord is trying to tell us that the moment we get that God's knowledge, the light of God's knowledge, because we are analogies of the sun, right? So the light of God's knowledge, the moment we get this, it's similar to how it will remove our ignorance. The darkness is responsible, right? Because it is creating Maya in us. This ignorance is creating Maya in us. Okay, let's see. We are sitting in, if we are sitting in a movie hall, okay, the cinema hall, the whole darkness is there, right? The whole darkness. The light falling on the screen from projector, the light falls on the screen. It is creating an illusion. It's actually illusion, right? It's throwing light and it's coming out with the, we feel it is reality. And we are completely absorbed in watching it. It's actually the projector light falling on the screen and they are showing everything and we are completely seeing as if it is real thing. And we are absorbed. How 2.5, 3 hours are gone, we don't even know. Ask us to do chanting. 1 mala done, okay. 2 mala done, okay. And you go and watch a movie, 2.5, 3 hours gone, we don't even come to know, right? But when the main lights in the cinema hall, once it is done, it is switched on, what happens? The whole maya, the whole illusion is dispelled. We start looking at each other. Okay, we are waking up. We are waking up from that dream state. We were totally into that movie, absorbed. And then we have come out from that dream to realize that, oh, okay, it was just a movie. Now we have to go. Somebody will say, okay, I have to catch a auto rickshaw. Somebody will say, where is the parking lot? Where did we park the car? Okay, what to make for dinner? Do we have to eat dinner? We come back to the reality. Same way, the darkness of ignorance, we are identifying with the body. With same thing, we are considering ourselves as the doers. We think that we are the enjoyers of our action. When the light of God's knowledge begins to shine brightly, very brightly inside us, not outside, inside us, Maya goes away. The illusion goes away. The darkness goes away and soul wakes up. And inside you will see a light burning inside, the soul's awakening thing. We will see it burning. And I will tell you one thing, it happens to everyone. There will be a moment in your life, maybe a second also. It has done. Everybody has experienced. There is a wow moment for everyone, right? So that is spiritual identity. We identify even while we are living in the city of 9 gates. Anybody remembers the city of 9 gates?
Yeah.
What's that? Don't keep forgetting, okay? 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 1 anus, genitals. So we have 9. Remember that every time. The soul has fallen into this Maya because of God's material energy, right? Avidya Shakti. And it has completely covered us in darkness. And once that this Maya is gone, and God's spiritual energy wakens, God's Vidya Shakti, then it illumines inside the light of knowledge. The moment we get that light of knowledge, we will be completely awakened. Let's see the difference between soul and the super soul. Soul is eternal, and both are eternal, both are blissful, but soul suffers because of Maya. Both are cognizant of the body, both know their bodies. But super soul knows all the bodies. We are soul cognizant of his own body. I know my body. I will not know Pratima Mataji's soul, right? But super soul within both of us will know both our bodies. Then soul is very small, anu, atomic. And super soul is vibhu, means very big, huge, can't conceive also, omniscient. And we have little bit of independence because we are part and parcel of Lord. But what happens is we desire, we have independence to desire, but we are still dependent on super soul because super soul has to sanction it. But super soul is completely independent. So let's see the next one. Okay, this one is the relationship between soul, super soul. So soul or jiva is the initiator. We initiate. How we initiate? By desire. Material nature is facilitator. It does the action. Super soul is the one who sanctions it. So a soul desires, Lord does not interfere. Lord as super soul sanctions those desires that the soul deserves. Lord is the director of the choreography who causes activities to be done through material nature. So the modes of material nature are the ones who are carrying out the actions. Okay. So it's not the, it establishes living entity is not the only doer. We are only the ones who desire. So who is responsible? Super soul is not responsible, right? Because all the actions are initiated because we are desiring. Super soul is just ultimate controller. He is the one who sanctions. He says, okay, he is desiring so much. Chalo isko de do. Let us give him. Okay, so we are only responsible for our own good or bad actions. So benefits of understanding, the moment we understand that super soul's position, what happens? It gives us perfect knowledge. right? And then we can surrender to the Lord and happiness and be happy very much within. That's what Lord is telling us. So we move on to the next section, which is 517 to 5.26. Liberation by focus on the super soul. One in knowledge devotionally fixes his consciousness on the super soul and remains materially equipoised, attains liberation in the near future. That is, liberation by focusing on the super soul is the next section. How we can liberate ourselves, how we can focus on the Paramatma aspect. Let's see that. Result of the knowledge of the Supreme. तद्बुद्धयस्तदात्मानः तन्निष्ठस्तत्परायणाः गच्छन्त्य पुनरावृत्तिं ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः. Yes, who would like to read? Srivali Mataji,
Hare
would you like
Krishna
to read?
Mataji. Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
So we have discussed about Jivatma, Paramatma, material nature, and it is also said that if we get all the knowledge of all this, we will have clarity in life, right? And the clarity will be given by the Guru, the spiritual master. That is why we need a spiritual master. And when the ignorance is destroyed by this knowledge, the knowledge I was talking about, the sun and all those analogies, what happens basically is Tat Buddhayas. Tat Buddhayas means what? Whose intelligent buddhi is fixed in Supreme. Tad Atmanas, whose Atma, whose mind is fixed in Supreme. Tad Nishtha. Nishtha means complete faith. Who has complete faith in the Supreme. So Buddha, then Atmas and Nishtha. So whose intelligence is fixed in God, whose mind is fixed in God, whose complete faith in God, Tat Parayana. Tat Parayana means who has taken the shelter of the Lord. What happens if you do all that? Jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. With this knowledge, the person is fully cleansed. Kalmasha, all the kalmasha, all the anarthas, all the misgivings, all the bad things, everything is gone. All nashta. All will be gone from there. And finally, what will happen? Gachantya apunara avrittim. He straight away proceeds to gachan. Gachan means moves, goes to the goal. What is the goal? Goal is to surrender. Surrender to who? Lord. Who is the Lord? Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he will achieve that goal. But before that, what will happen? So just like, if the moment we put the buddhi, we put the manasa, we put the nishtha, everything, we put it in Supreme Lord, then what will happen? Ultimately, it will be that parayana. We are taking the shelter of the Lord. Then jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha will happen. So this is what we have to understand. That's it. In this shloka, Lord is very clear about it. What is the result if we know about all this? Simple. It's about the result card, report card. The report card says very clearly, you use your buddhi, you use your atmana, you use your faith also. If you do all this and you take the shelter of the Lord, then what will happen? Your jnana nirdhuta kalmash, all the misgivings, all the ignorance, everything, whatever misdeeds, everything will be gone. And the goal will be, you'll reach Supreme. That's it. The moment we have ignorance, that's the cause of suffering in this life. That's the cause. That is why we are going on and on in this cycle of birth and death. That's it. Simple cause, but it's very difficult for us to understand. Only the knowledge, the moment we get that knowledge, that's when we can, get that power to get away from this material bondage. And you can't get this knowledge alone. Knowledge alone will not help us. It has to have faith, nishtha, devotion towards the Lord. That is also very, very important. You can't just say, okay, I've gained the knowledge, now I can go. No, you need to have knowledge. It's always accompanied by the devotion to God. I don't know how many times I must have made this example of how, he found a stone and he put it in his pocket, thought it was only 10-20 rupees. And then later a friend said, oh, this stone is this ring, sorry, he found a ring. And this ring is gold. It's very, very expensive. How with that knowledge, the value increased. And then uncle came and he said, oh, this stone, in this ring is made up of diamond. It is very, very expensive. And then again, that the moment the knowledge kept increasing, the value kept increasing. So the knowledge along with that devotion is equally important, I'm saying. So this verse, it's making very emphatic or very definite use of words over here, showing that we should be completely God conscious. How Tad Buddhayasta, that he's saying that your intellect also should be directed towards God. Atmana should also be absorbed in God. Then Nishtha also should be there. Faith also should be there in God. Then Parayana, we should be taking shelter of the Lord. The moment we do that, the sign of true knowledge is what it leads us towards the love for God. The moment we gain the knowledge, the love also increases. The moment the ring is of great value, the love also increases. So the knowledge came in, we start loving God. And with this all kind of love, we can see the devotees, they will see the Lord everywhere. The devotee can see only Lord, Lord, Lord everywhere. That kind of divine vision is what Lord is going to describe in the next verse as such. So let's move on to the next verse as such. What is next verse? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shvapake Cha Pandita Samadarshina. Yes, who will read? Srivali Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater, outcast. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So those whose mind, intelligence, everything is fixed in Krishna only, we are marching towards liberation, right? That is why in this section, Lord Krishna is going to talk about like different qualities of this personality. What are the qualities they have? Because the moment we are clear. Lord told about all the doers. Then he told that if you get this knowledge, you will become wiser. Then you put your buddhi, your nishtha, your intellect, mind, manasa, atmana, and parayana, everything you put it in me. Then you will reach the goal, right? You will be away from all the kalmashas. After telling all this, now he's moving on to give us the characteristics also of such personalities. What are the qualities? He says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. So here we are talking about humble sages. We are talking about the Brahmanas, the Pandits, this Pandita or the humble sage who has this nectar of knowledge. Now we have got that knowledge, right? So what happens to them once we have got the nectar of knowledge? Brahmane Gavi Hastini. Brahmana, cow. Brahmana is Brahmana. Gavi means cow. Hastini means elephant. Shuni Chaivashva Pakecha. Shuni Chaivashva Pak. Shuni means dog. Chaivashva Pakecha means the dog eater. So what does this humble sage do? Samadarshina. Simple as that. The moment he gets all the knowledge, he will have Samadarshina, means equal vision. Whether it is a cow, whether it's an elephant, whether it's a dog eater, you name it, and he will see Supreme Soul in everyone. That's it. That's the simple version of this shloka, what Lord Krishna has given. Simple, that the moment you get the knowledge, you will be able to see. You will get that Jnana Chakshu, Prajna Chakshu, eyes of knowledge. So Lord Krishna is using these words, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. He's adding this word Vinay also. Vinay means humbleness. The moment you get the knowledge, you become very humble. Similarly, like how the fruit in the tree, the moment it becomes mature or ripe, it falls down. And the raw fruit, it is still stuck to the tree. So once we become matured with knowledge, we fall down in the sense, we become very humble. We are completely like this. We are not like this, haughty and pride and arrogant. No. As long as the fruit is very raw and it will be attached to the tree, it is having the sense of doership. Oh, I am the one. I am doing everything. No. The moment Vidya comes, the knowledge comes, we become very humble. That is a sign. If somebody is very humble, very humble, you're having a lot of humility, saying sorry, apologizing, don't think that, he is a weaker person. No, it's not like that. The more the knowledge, the better the person becomes in humility. Shallow, bookish knowledge, if you have, it will be having that pride of being a scholar, right? That bookish knowledge. So Lord Krishna is telling in this verse how the divine knowledge, not the bookish knowledge, how the divine knowledge, it gives us this vision so that we can see supreme soul in everyone. The moment we get this knowledge, we see that all our souls, we all are now, right now, we are all 22 of us, part and parcel of the Lord. We are of the same, our Father is same, but we are so distinct, right? Over here, we are so unique in our nature, we are so unique in our behavior. But the Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavihasni. So the Brahman who is completely having the Vidya, the knowledge, he becomes humble and he is able to see all the souls as fragments of God. And he becomes completely has that divine knowledge. These are the examples Lord Krishna, is giving. Have you noticed such diametrically contrasting species and life forms God has given over here? Vedic Brahman, he's used Brahman name, right? Brahman, he is doing all the ceremonies. Then he has contrast, he has used dog eater, who is completely looked down upon. Did you notice that? Completely opposite. A Brahmana, okay, 2 more minutes, I'll finish. A Brahmana and a dog eater, complete contrast, looked down upon. Then cow. Cow is milked. We use the milk, cow milk, right, for all the whatever we are drinking. But we don't use the milk of a dog, not a dog, right? Elephant. It is used for all the parades. Whenever we use any big parades, elephants are used. Ceremonial parades, right? Cow is not used for parades. Dog is not used for parades. If you see from all this, these species are all, you can see different contrast species Lord has brought together in this whole spectrum of our life in our planet. Here, I don't know how Lord Krishna has chosen all this. So he says, learned person, he is having the spiritual knowledge and he will see them as eternal souls and he will view them with equal vision, equal eye. So once we get that kind of knowledge, we are able to do, like Brahmana, he does worship, puja in the temples. Kshatriyas, they do taking care of the society. Then Vaishyas, they're doing all the business and all. Shudras, they're engaged in different services, labor. He will but see all as eternal souls, all as Mamay Vamsho Jivalu, all as tiny sparks of the Lord. And he will see everyone same because they're all creation of Lord and Paramatma is residing in each and every one of us. That's why he says Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Havikastini. Intelligent man. He's very intelligent man because he is not discriminating on seeing a cow or an elephant or a dog eater because he is gone above these 3 modes. He's transcendental. He is having that knowledge. He understands that different living, they are all different living entities. They are wearing different dress. But he can see Paramatma also. That is why in 15th chapter also Krishna says, right, Sarvasya Aham Hridi Sannivishto. I am residing in all, seated in all the hearts, right? He says, what is that? Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. Deshe Arjuna Tishtati. Yeah, I am situated in everybody's heart. Everywhere Lord is saying, so many times he is saying like that. So that is what Lord here ends with. He says, one who surrenders to Krishna, he will achieve the goal of life. And then he will, once he surrenders, he will be getting so many wonderful qualities and we will focus more on the qualities from now on. So I will end over here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. Time is up and I will continue this